Hi guys, last time we had talked about IBS, the physical aspect of it. So we are going to continue with the mental, how the mental state of being has so much to do with our digestion. So what happens is, according to our traditional Chinese medicine, spleen that we talked in our previous video, if you haven't watched it, you do go to our channel in the playlist Disorders Simplified. You will find that video and you can go through it before you continue watching this so that you have a connection from what I'm talking about. So the spleen, as we talked, is responsible for this digestion issue, has one aspect of it that is the thought process. So you'll say that how is digestion linked to our mind? These two are two different things. Brain does the processing, thinking, mind think, and stomach is doing, spleen is doing just the digestion. Then how are they two related? Well, to be very blunt about it, I would give you a very simple, commonly used phrase that is gut feeling. So, when we talk about gut feeling, it is the gut that is rising and giving you the sensation of what is right, what is wrong, right? So, a feeling that you have is coming from the gut. So, are feelings only restricted to the brain and your consciousness is related to your upper part of your brain, or is it also related to another aspect of your body which is located right here? So with this, there was a research that was conducted about certain nerve cells which are present in the stomach. So these nerve cells have a tendency of behaving exactly like a brain function. So they have termed stomach or the gut as the second brain. So they have the same nerves as the brain. So what it means that most of our thought process, thinking or your feeling and all it is affected and is taken care by the gut and not only the brain. And this brings us to an aspect of traditional Chinese medicine which talks about spleen being responsible for thoughts. So we say that 四字伤脾，脾主思，脾主意. So what it means, literally translated, is that 四字伤脾, if you overthink, it damages your spleen. If it damages your spleen, it creates a vicious cycle. That damaged spleen leads to overthinking. Okay, I have talked about this in our another video when we talk about dental problems, cavities, how a thinking process can lead to cavity. So similarly, if that thought process is affecting your gut so much, then again the spleen has another aspect that is P zu E. E means your will, your ability to process certain things. So you have information coming to you. How you process it and act on it is determined by the spleen. So that processing is similar to processing of the food. So that is why spleen health is most important, most essential. If you consume food and it damages, then your emotions are also affected. Same thing, if you change the other way around, your emotions are going to affect your gut health. So if you are someone who is always encountering depressed situation, if you are a child who is living in a house where there is always fights, arguments, the parents are always quarreling, small thing become an issue and people start fighting and you are stressed that when this will end, how this affects you, how you're mentally not able to process that information that you see, and you are kind of becoming more and more of a secluded, like tight person. So this, in a period of time as you grow, if this occurs during the crucial phase of your puberty, it is going to affect your life for a long time. And as your age progresses, when you hit 20, 25, 30, you will start developing gut issues like IBS. So this is very essential. We think that what we suffer at the age of 30 is the suffering of that particular time. No, the root of the problem can be 20, 30 years back when you had mental disturbance. You can have certain things like you are going to school and teacher is so strict, or the work, the students around you, or your study, your parents are so strict with you about your progress, about your study, is that it is going to affect your mental and gut health. Because when you stress too much, you are overthinking. When you're overthinking, as we just said, your gut is going to have effect. Lot of people, when they have stress, they either overeat or they don't eat at all. So what does it tell you? That everything that you see around, the stress that you are consuming, is affecting your gut. It is the root, it is the seed that you are sowing. As parents, you are sowing into your child. As teachers, you are sowing into your students. As fellow students, as friends, you are sowing into your fellow friend. So this seed is going to damage them in future. This seed is going to be one of the most deadliest disorders in their coming future. So you will be responsible for creating that particular impact in that particular person. It is not just that individual's way of behaving in their life that is going to be the cause of his future disorders. So you have to be mindful of your tongue, how you speak, how you say things to you, if you want that child to be a healthy individual. A lot of us today, when we hit an age of 30, we start becoming very health conscious. We start focusing too much on what to eat, what not to eat. We become so stressed about life that everything you eat, you first check online what it has, what it doesn't have, how it affects you, how it doesn't affect you. And it becomes so tight in your mind that if I eat this, I will suffer from this. If I don't eat this, I will suffer from this. And you start exercising and doing so many things to keep yourself healthy, but it becomes a little bit late at that age because your gut health is already affected. That is why you tend to try to find solutions to it. So why don't those individuals who are in their 20s start working on your gut health now? Don't think that you are young, everything that you eat you can digest it, and just haphazardly just stuff things in your mouth and swallow it. Drink beer, drink alcohol, smoke, everything you do, you are doing in your prime time. Your body is like, in a very good state of mind. But as your age progresses, you will not have that same resources to digest, to metabolize those food items that you're consuming, and this will affect your health in later stage of life. And at that time, you will not remember what you had done before. You will only think about few days, maybe through 2 3 days prior to your start suffering. So it is very essential that you be mindful about everything that you do, everything that you consume, mindful, not stressed. There is a difference. It's a fine line. I'm not talking about you calculate every calorie that you're consuming, calculate every protein, fat, what you're consuming. That is fanatic. That will create a thought process. Again, thinking will damage your gut. Your gut will not be able to function normally and digest the nutrient if you're overthinking about everything that you consume. What I mean by mindful is have a prior idea is what your body wants at that particular time. If your body wants to consume, body, not your mind, not your tongue. Your body is not here. Your body is here. I'll give an example which my father often tells his patient is samosa. You look at the samosa when you have an acidity problem. You look at the samosa when you have IBS problem. Your body will tell not to eat that because as soon as you eat that, you're going to have problems. But that samosa, your mind tells you, oh, it's tasty. It's a friend of mine who is giving it to me. I might not have it again. I will have it only once now. And you eat it and you suffer. So that is the fine line. Being mindful about what you consume. Samosa is not bad for a person who has a healthy gut, but samosa can be a poison to someone who is having IBS, a gut issue. So this gut issue, as we talked about, is something that it is when not when you are having this emotional disturbance from childhood, your gut might not have that ability to hold on to that matter, absorb it properly, and throw it when required during the excretion process. Rather, you will have a constant urge of passing and just letting things go because you are frustrated with life. You have endured so much in your life, you have endured so much in your past that you have been turned into an habit of I don't give a damn. And that has affected the gut in the same way. So be mindful. Be mindful of what you are consuming in as a food to your mind and as food to your stomach. And always remember your actions will affect you and your future generation, your children, your students, your fellow colleagues. So be very mindful of what you speak. Think about it before you say something to others. Think about it how a third person who is not in an argument with you have an impact on him. So this is my kind request to parents, friends, family, teachers, especially teachers and parents who are molding their children into a better future. Everything we do is for their future, then you have to be mindful about your behavior in front of them and have a very healthy gut. Do have regular awareness, mindful thought about what your gut is, how your gut is affected, what are you suffering, why you're suffering. Think about it. When you think about it, a lot of aspects of your life will be clear and you will find solution much easier. As far as treatment for IBS is concerned, with acupuncture, what we do is we balance this disrupted energy. We have to first look at the individual person. You cannot have a generalized treatment for IBS. It is very specific to individual. As I mentioned, some have an emotional aspect, some have physical aspect, some have food aspect. Lot of things has involved in IBS. So we have to tackle individually. But one of the most basic thing is because it is having that disruption of energy, we have to first balance it out. And then once that is balanced, emotional aspect has to be treated. So it's a slow step by step process. So it is not something you just put some points and you are treated. You have to diagnose with pulse what is the thing that is causing the IBS to be chronic, and then slowly we tackle it little by little, and with due period of treatment, we have managed to successfully treat many of such IBS cases. You can go through them also, and you will have an idea of how chronic IBS can be. And earlier you diagnose, earlier you treat with acupuncture, the better it is for you. Because earlier you treat with acupuncture, the faster will be the result. The more chronic it becomes, the time consumed for treatment is more. So it is very important that you understand that if you want to go for a traditional treatment like acupuncture, you have to start it at earlier stage and find treatment as early as possible for your benefit. So do like this video if you have benefit from it. If you have any fellow people who family friends who have suffering from IBS or digestion issues or gastric problem, do share it with them so that they understand what is their causes and they are able to find the right treatment for their problem. And do subscribe to our channel so that you can stay tuned with such understanding of your body. Stay tuned, do subscribe, and thank you so much.